Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Badminton World. This time we're off to Singapore, the small island state off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, stretching roughly over 700 square kilometres and home to a diverse group of 5 million people, making it the world's third most densely populated country. One of the 4 Asian tigers, Singapore's bustling economy also makes it the world's 4th largest financial centre, and its port one of the 5 busiest in the world. With a breathtaking skyline overlooking a fascinating meshwork of water bodies that snake through its 63 islands, Singapore provides a unique setting for a Badminton Superseries event. And in a country where no single sport rules the majority, badminton has its own following.
Badminton is really huge in Singapore. It's the 3rd most participated sport in Singapore after walking and running. And we always have a very good crowd at this stadium and also in some of the local tournaments that we organize within the Singapore Badminton Association. So it's big.
But this year it was bigger because the Lion City also gave the players their very first opportunity to build their spots for the ultimate London Olympics 2012.
Definitely, we were very confident this year because this being the first Super Series event that players get the Olympic qualifying points. So definitely we are confident that all the top players will be in Singapore, and we will definitely get very good support from everybody.
I think most of the players and even the teams, they know that, and that's why they are sending all their top players over to Singapore for this Ning Open and to chalk up as much points for the London Olympics as much as possible. And even for the Singapore team, we fielded all our players and we also tried to let them get as much Olympic qualification points as possible.
And the hopes of seeing homegrown talent take centre stage got the crowd teeming in at the state-of-the-art Singapore Indoor Stadium right from day one. As a badminton nation, Singapore have yet to accomplish the lofty standards set by some of its neighbours. Yet passions run deep here, and there's always extra backing for the local players.
Besides our coaches, we do have sports psychologists from the Singapore Sports Institute to help them prepare for these competitions. And it's not only this competition, whereas for other competitions, they do help us with this mental part of the game.
Most of Singapore's new breed of players are trained at the Singapore Sports School, with an eye on the immediate future.
The players are prepared to take on the big boys like Indonesia as well as China. We have a group of youngsters from the 13-year-old to the 17-year-old. They are also prepared to move on and to take over the role of the national players when the time comes. So we are preparing them together with the Sports Council in terms of preparing them for all these big competitions, to be able to absorb the atmosphere and to be able to do well in all these competitions.
Unfortunately, Singapore's representation in the men's singles main draw wore a blank look after both Derek Wong and Ashton Chen fell in the qualifiers. Youngster Wong feeling the heat of local expectations.
Yes, a bit of pressure there because, you know, their friends, their families, and they're all supporting you. You know, they want you to do well. However, we have been playing this tournament for like 4 to 5 years already, so kind of get used to it already.
Meanwhile, Ashton Chen faced Polish world number 32 Przemysław Waka in the qualifiers. But like Wong, he couldn't go beyond the first round, losing 21-17, 21-12. But Chen obviously had his eyes on the bigger picture.
For this year, we're trying to break into the top 40s. Yeah, because currently we're like 60 in the world, so we're trying to break into the top 40s this year, and that's our target. Maybe for the upcoming tournaments this season, hopefully I'll get some champions.
But the Singaporean women fared better. Chen Jihuan and Fu Mingtian making it to the top half of the women's singles main draw, after winning their respective qualifying rounds. World number 24 and Singapore's top women's singles player, Juan Gu, opened in the bottom half. Fu and Chen stumbled in the first round of the main draw, but Juan beat Japan's Ayane Kurihara before upsetting her compatriot Ai Goto to storm into the quarters. But all eyes were on the defending women's doubles champions, Shinta Mulia Sari and Yao Lei, Singapore's first and only winners of a Badminton Superseries event since its inception in 2007. And the duo made the right kind of start in the opening round, coming back from a game down to beat the English pair of Maria Agathangalu and Heather Olver before crashing out to the Russian 8th seeds Valeria Sorokina and Nina Vishlova in a hard-fought three-gamer. A big blow for the home crowd and a bad start to the pair's Olympics bid.
I want to play the Olympic, but I want to get some result in Olympic. That's why that we must try hard. I mean how to build our ranking at least below 10.
There's work yet to be done in that regard for the current world number 18 pair. But Denmark's 17-year-old reigning world junior champion Viktor Axelsen is ready to take big strides on the other side. Stay tuned. In the BWF Superseries men's rankings, Lee Chong-wei is number 1, ahead of China's Lin Dan. Taufik Hidayat rises to 3rd, Denmark's Peter Gader and Japan's Kenichi Tago also making the top 5. Indonesia's Simon Santoso and China's Chen Long drop down. Park Sung-hwan moves up to 8th, Germany's Mark Zwiebler 9th, Hu Yun wrapping up the top 10. In the BWF Superseries women's rankings, Wang Xishan stays on top, followed by Wang Jin. Porntip Borana Prasatsuk breaks into the top 3, Song Ji-hyun 4th, Wang Yihan dropping to 5th. Korea's Bae Young-ju is 6th, Jiang Yin-jiao 7th and Sayaka Sato ranked 8th. Eriko Hirose is 9th, followed by Yip Wei-yin. Welcome back to Badminton World. We're in the beautiful city-state of Singapore this month for the 5th stop in the 2011 BWF Super Series calendar. Also an event that offered the players their first points in their bid to qualify for the 2012 London Olympics. While for many it may be a matter of traversing continents and countries on their way to London for the Summer Games next year, it could only mean a couple of hours' drive from their base in Milton Keynes to the Olympics venue for England's Nathan Robertson and Jenny Wallwork. An Athens Olympic silver medalist, Robertson once formed a World Championship winning team with the now retired Gail Ems. The Englishman hoping for a final flourish in front of his home crowd.
For us personally, London Olympics, very big thing. Be my last Olympics, so I'll be retiring afterwards. But we know that if we're ranked in the top 8 in the world, that guarantees us qualification. Even if another British pair's in the top 8 also, we can have 2 pairs in the tournament. So I think we're looking at the top 8 and the semi-final here is good points on the way to trying to secure that place.
And they made great strides in that direction, storming into the last 8 without dropping a game, before coming face-to-face with the number 2 seeds, Sudket Prapakamol and Saralee Tautongkam in the first quarter-final of the mixed doubles. Robertson's quick right hand setting up the first game for the top English pair. And Tautongkam misdirecting Wallwork's smash wide in the second game to finally hand the match over.
And the number 2 seeds have been beaten by the English combination of Nathan Robertson and Jenny Wallwork. 21-15, 21-14.
But their dominant run came to a grinding halt in the semi-final next, against fellow unseeded pair of Chen Hung Ling and Cheng Wen Sing of Taiwan.
back-to-back tournaments is quite tough, especially coming out to Asia. It's a little bit tiring travelling from Europe. But we'll take confidence from this week into next week and hopefully a similar result.
I think, like Nathan said to me yesterday, actually, we've got to keep relaxing and enjoying playing, and you know, we've done really well here this week. Unfortunately, we didn't win today, but it's just one of those things that we've just got to hope for the best and keep training as hard as we are, and the results will come.
And the results did come for the fourth-seeded pair of Liliana Natsir and Tantowi Ahmad. The Indonesians saving 5 game points on the trot in their semi-final against the top-seeded pair of Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei. Natsir and Ahmad holding their nerve to clinch the opening game 23-21.
What a comeback from the number 4 seed.
And the Indonesians managed to carry that momentum onto the next game.
Tantowi Ahmad sinks to his knees. He and Liliana Natsir have defeated the number 1 pair in the world. 23-21, 21-16.
We came in well prepared for the Singapore Open. We recently won the Malaysian Grand Prix and the Indian Super Series, and that's really boosted our confidence.
Confidence also oozed from the Chinese duo of Fu Haifeng and Cai Yun, who ousted 2 pairs of qualifiers before taking on Koreans Jung Jae-sung and Lee Yong-dae in the last 4. An easy first game for Fu and Cai, but they had to overcome some resilience in the next game before taking the match 21-16, 23-21. The win setting up a title clash with the unseeded Indonesians Alvent Yulianto Chandra and Hendra Gunawan, who upset the tournament's 7th seeds.
We had a tough match today. We've never played Yulianto and Gunawan before, so we are expecting a really hard match tomorrow as well. It's important we rest properly.
Meanwhile, former women's singles world number 1 Tine Baun was making good progress towards her first title of the season. Having missed the All England Championship due to a heel injury and having crashed out in the second round of the previous tournament in India on her comeback. The 6th seed was up against the unseeded Cheng Xiao-che in the quarters here. A tight 3-game finish in the end, separating the world number 9 from the world number 10. Next up in the first semi-final for Baun was the current world number 1, Wang Xishan. 21-13, 21-11 then for the year's first final for the 31-year-old.
And she's done it. She's recorded her first ever victory over Wang Xishan, the world number 1.
The win taking her to the final against the 3rd seed Wang Xin, who saw off Yao Ji in the other semi-final.
After playing the Sudirman Cup in Qingdao, I played some good matches, but I was feeling I was just on my way back from an injury. So actually I came into this tournament not expecting so much. I wanted to live up for my quarterfinal seeding, and from there on, everything was just bonus for me.
Another Dane who was out making waves in the men's draw was 17-year-old Viktor Axelsen. He won 4 straight games as a qualifier to make it to his first Super Series quarter-final. The 21-year-old facing Wang Zhengming, who in the previous round had beaten none other than top seed Taufik Hidayat. And the Chinese world number 20 eventually proved too good for Axelsen. But a proud overall result nonetheless for the reigning world junior champion.
My preparation was quite good. I think I kept my head high and focused on one match at a time. So yeah, I think my preparation was quite good, and I'm proud of the result here after all.
The race may be on for next year's Olympics, but for Axelsen, it's first things first.
Of course, if I get the chance to qualify for the Olympics, I'll get it. I try to get it, but the the first priority for me at the moment is still developing my game and give everything I have in training to be a better player every day. So that's the main focus. But of course, I would love to win every match when I go on court, and I give me 100% every time.
Axelsen's conqueror Wong, however, ran out of luck in the first men's singles semi-final against Chen Jin. While the clash between two former world number ones, Peter Gator and Lin Dan, in the second semi-final lived up to its top billing. We bring you that epic battle when we come back. Welcome back to Badminton World. We're into the business end of the Singapore Super Series. But before that, it's worth taking a quick look at the venue, the spectacular Singapore Indoor Stadium. The proud host of the tournament since 2004, the stadium is the country's largest and most versatile indoor sports and entertainment venue, with a modifiable arena that can accommodate a huge crowd on a big match day.
Well, first of all, the indoor stadium, it is designed as a diamond shape, which is similar to what Singapore looks like on the map. And we have a capacity over here of about 10,000. For today, we had a crowd of 7,500. They can get very close to the players during the moving into the court, as well as moving towards the prize presentation. So there's a lot of interaction between the crowd and the players, and I think that brings out the entire atmosphere of the whole competition.
And the stands were packed to the rafters at the prospect of a star-studded semi-final. The experienced Peter Gator pitted against Olympic gold medalist Lin Dan. And Game 1 proved to be a humdinger, the duo producing a few sublime exchanges.
Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. How can he do that? That's brilliant.
The Chinese player was soon poised to take the first game when Gator decided to go for the kill. And in a miraculous turnaround, the European champion found himself at game point. Gator winning 6 straight points to prevail in a riveting first game.
Unbelievable. No wonder Peter Gator celebrates.
But Lin fought back to draw level in the second. The all-conquering Chinese sitting on 5 match points in the third.
And it converts. 21-15 in the deciding game.
It was time for the finals then. The Sunday getting started with the mixed doubles affair, involving 4th seeds Liliana Natsir and Tantowi Ahmad. Their unseeded rivals Chen Hung Ling and Chen Wen Sing surrendered the first game easily. But the second was anything but straightforward. Cheng and Chen already saving 2 match points before playing out this terrific rally at 22-21. Scores were still level at 25 all. Ahmad and Natsir now looking to convert their 5th match point. And it was all over on the very next point.
And this time they convert their 3rd consecutive title in tournaments played. It's their 2nd Super Series title to add to the India Super Series.
The mood in the arena was slightly sullied at the announcement of Lin Dan's withdrawal from the men's singles final. The illness-stricken Olympic champion conceding the Singapore Super Series title to his countryman Chen Jin. The crowd got behind Korea's He Yung-jung and Kim Min-jung in their women's doubles final against China's Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. But that didn't prevent the Chinese pair from taking a commanding lead in game number 1. And it was all over in the second. Tian and Zhao winning over the crowd with their aggressive play.
That's gone well wide. Victory is theirs.
The 5th seeds winning the Singapore Open Women's doubles title. 4th seeds Cai Yun and Fu Haifeng were in it for the men's doubles honours. The reigning BWF World Champions are banking on the big-hitting prowess of Fu Haifeng to see them through against Alvin Yulianto and Hendra Aprida Gunawan. A Chinese doubles player known to badminton lovers as the man who set the world record for the fastest smash-in match play.
Recorded at 332 kilometres an hour. So it was the highest that we've ever seen in a competitive environment. I know there's been independent tests done before in a non-match situation where they've gone higher, but in the match, pressure's on, need to win the point. 332 was the biggest recorded. He's also been, I think, 324 and 303, I think, just at the World Championships last year in Paris. So he was hitting it very, very hard, especially a few years ago. He's had a few injuries since, but, you know, back in 2005, 2006, he was like Superman. So he's my favourite because he's put this technology on the world scale. So I'm happy about that.
The radar gun technology used to measure shot speeds is a regular feature of badminton tournaments these days. Its involvement giving the television audience a richer viewing experience.
Well, it was introduced in badminton in 2005 in Beijing Sudirman Cup, and it basically records the smash speeds of the players. Now, what it's done to the sport of badminton is it's brought the viewer and the public to know how good and how fast these badminton players are and how hard they hit the shuttlecock. So it's integrated, I think, very well with the public, and we are now integrating it into television, where it's automatically streamed into the television graphics, and we can show the world exactly how good these athletes are with the speed and the power that they possess with their smashes.
Out on the court, Yulianto and Gunawan were showing off some impressive big hitting of their own. Other players have clocked speeds as high as 421 kilometres an hour during isolated tests. But Fu's smash remains the fastest recorded during an actual match situation.
My speed was clocked during one of the competitions. Tan Bun Hyung's speed wasn't recorded during an actual match. His sponsor had organized an isolated test, and his speed turned out to be 421 kilometers per hour. I'm not confident of breaking that record. I'm a lot older now.
Despite his age, Fu's overall skills were good enough to help the pair secure the first game, 21-17. There's more to the Chinese duo than just powerful smashes. Game 2 going their way as well.
Because Cai Yun and Fu Haifeng, the reigning world champions, take their second title of the year.
The absence of a men's singles final gave a whole new meaning to the women's singles meeting between Tine Baun and Wang Xin. Both players trying to win their first Super Series title of the year. And Baun certainly had her hands full in the first game. Jin playing some precise badminton in the early exchanges. Baun couldn't prevent her rival from getting a grip on the match. Jin nailing down game 1, 21-19.
Oh, she's found the line. Absolutely brilliant.
Game 2 saw Baun staring down the barrel. the Danish player miraculously saving 4 match points before Jin snuffed out any hopes of a comeback.
And this time she converts. 21-19, 21-17. And Wong Sin, in her first ever Singapore Open, takes the title.
We now leave you with some of the standout moments from the Ning Singapore Super Series. See you next time.